Hello, what's up, everyone? Back again with MPJ here. Now, in this new video, I want to share about Elm in Rails. So, imagine you are using Elm, a delightful language to build UI, and combine it with the pervasiveness and the usefulness of Rails. So, let's see, right? Uh, okay, so in here, I working on a project that I repeatedly share to my YouTube video where I'm building like all the building blocks from the CI/CD to the what else, the test coverage, TDD, and all that stuff. And now to share to you my Elm setup. It is not complete yet. It is just like initial architecture that I'm currently building, and I want to like get your feedback and get your opinion, and then see if it's working out. Okay, so I have this like typical Rails application. So I'm using a mono repository, and then I have a folder called backend. And in here, it's basically a Rails application, right? So initially, I create a front end like repository here, folder in the mono repo, where I creating an Elm app using Elm SPA. I forgot it is Elm SPA or it is Elm Pages, but the idea is I'm using Spirit Elm framework. But I realized that it can be much more easier if it's already in the Rails application itself, because there is not much engineer in my team, so I need to be very careful on like spiriting all that stuff. I think that makes sense. Spiriting the repository makes sense for Android and iOS, but for the web, because there is only two of my team, me and other people, I don't think it is like makes sense to split everything into separate layer, because we both working on the back end and the front end. So yeah, just putting everything together. And then when I'm trying to include the Elm in Rails, I'm thinking about whether I need to create like single page application within Rails application, or I need to create like multi-page application. Uh, I end up using multi-page application because I think it is more makes sense in Rails application. So the idea is every time I visit a web page like this, it is a single page. I mean, like individual page. It in here people can have their own like interaction, but when they click another link like this, they end up in a different like Elm application, and then we inject different like Elm app to the different path on the Rails, and then we'll see together. So in here, what I have is I have a JavaScript where I'm running my like Elm application. I have a main application because in Elm the main one is called main, and main is mapped to the pack index.js. So in here, what I'm doing is I basically added event listener when the DOM content loaded. I just append uh, Elm main modules to the DOM, right? Using this helper function called append body, right? And then I'm doing the same for another page called upcoming events, where I have these upcoming event modules, and then I include it in here where I have elm.upcoming events, right? And then after that, the idea is I want to have each individual pages have sharing the same structure and the same library. So I create the like a generic message. So message is coming from the messages.elm. In the future, it can be something else like other than none. It can be like uh, new notification and things like that. And then after that, what I have in another page is I also want to share um, the headers. So the headers, I'm creating a new component where in here I have a component called header, and then there is header.view, which is the header component. So it shared the same header like this one, right? And for the setup, what I'm doing is I have a proc file, which basically running the webpack every time I make changes. So if I were make a changes here, like awesome event, there will be some recompiling here, and then voila, it's already compiled here. Pretty amazing like workflow, right? And another part I want to share here is regarding the setup. In here, if I take a look to the config folder, I have the loaders, a custom loader where I basically loading the Elm.js. It is not made by me. I taking it out from the other project from the SP Rocket, and yeah, it worked out. And the other part I want to share here is, let me see. Uh, okay, not here. Okay, so the idea of having Elm in Rails is I want to take advantage of a very solid web framework, which is Rails, and I want to have like delightful experience, like programming in the front end world, because in JavaScript world you end up with a lot of like barrel, right? When you pick a framework like React or Vue.js, you pick Vue.js or React, and then you think again about how do I store the data, how do I manage state, and then you think about Redux, MobX, and things like that. And then after that, you need another additional like what is it? JavaScript thing like Lodash and everything. But in Elm, everything is just Elm, right? And in Elm, I already know all the languages, and I can write a powerful and like a complete app without taking much more time, like learning in Google or Stack Overflow, because the language is basically very, very simple, right? Yeah, I hope you enjoy my little share here. Like today, my time is spent like like spend a lot of time in the learning action mailer and active job, but the last part is really the Elm setup, because it used to be a React app, but I'm deciding that my company will be mostly Rails and Elm. So yeah, just removing the React and including all the Elm code here. And it is pretty early in the code base, but I will share again once I have more code. And thank you.